Welcome to my channel, Creative Rush. In today's video, we will learn about emergency fund. What is an emergency fund? When is the emergency fund to be used? How much of an emergency fund do I need? How do I build an emergency fund? Where should I keep my emergency fund? What is an emergency fund? An emergency fund is a financial safety net that you set up to cover unexpected expenses or emergencies that may arise in your life. By having an emergency fund, you can be better prepared to handle unexpected events without putting yourself in a difficult financial situation. This can help reduce stress and provide you with peace of mind knowing that you have a financial safety net to fall back on. When is the emergency fund to be used? Your emergency fund should only be used in case of a true emergency. An emergency is an unexpected expense or event that has a significant impact on your finances, such as a job loss, a medical emergency, a major home or car repair, or a natural disaster. It's important to have a clear definition of what constitutes an emergency to avoid using your emergency fund for non-essential expenses. If you're unsure whether an expense qualifies as an emergency, ask yourself if it is a necessary expense that you can't cover with your regular income or savings. If the answer is yes, then it may be appropriate to use your emergency fund to cover the expense. Once you use your emergency fund, it's important to replenish it as soon as possible. Make a plan to start saving again to rebuild your emergency fund to its original level. Remember that your emergency fund is a safety net that can help you avoid going into debt or making other financial sacrifices during difficult times. How much of an emergency fund do I need? Your emergency fund should cover at least 6 months' worth of living expenses, although the exact amount will vary depending on your personal circumstances. Let's say your monthly income is $1,000 a month. Your ideal emergency fund would be $1,000 multiplied by 6, which would be $6,000. How do I build an emergency fund? Set a goal. Decide on the amount of money you want to save in your emergency fund. As mentioned earlier, it's recommended to save at least 6 months' worth of living expenses. Create a budget. Create a budget to identify how much you are spending each month on essential and non-essential expenses. This will help you identify areas where you can reduce your expenses and free up more money to put towards your emergency fund. Where should I keep my emergency fund? Open a separate savings account. Open a separate savings account specifically for your emergency fund. This will help you keep your emergency savings separate from your regular checking or savings account and avoid dipping into it for non-emergency expenses. Automate your savings. Set up an automatic transfer to move a portion of your paycheck directly into your emergency fund account each month. This will help you save consistently and avoid the temptation to spend the money on other things. Let us now see an example. John and David were working for the same IT company, and suddenly the company planned to reduce headcount, and both were fired from their jobs. John had an emergency fund and was able to use it for household expenses while searching for a new job. David didn't have an emergency fund and needed to borrow money from a friend or take out a loan to meet household expenses. As you have seen from the above example, it is essential to have an emergency fund because no one knows when an unexpected event will occur. Please like and subscribe to my channel if you like the content.